like to call this meeting of the Carson City Historic Resources Commission on July 1st, 2026 to order. We have a roll, please.
Chair Drews,
Here.
Vice Chair Schmitter,
Here.
Commissioner Block,
Here.
Commissioner Darney, Commissioner Schmidt, Commissioner Spielda,
Here.
and Commissioner Wright.
Right. Did you say Mr.?
No, Commissioner.
Okay, Mrs. Wright is here.
We have a quorum.
Thanks, Zach. Next item is item number 3, public comment. Public is invited at this time to provide a comment on any topic that relates to a matter over which this public body has supervision. No action may be taken on the matter raised during the public comment. Hope.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I haven't seen you all for a while, so it's nice to see you. I'm here to introduce Kyle Fisher. He is about 3 weeks into the job as the Deputy Director of Community and Economic Development. Kyle has his Master's of Architecture degree from UNLV. He's worked in a private architecture firm in Las Vegas for 4.5 years. After that, he opened his own firm, also in Las Vegas, that he ran for 6 years. He worked for the state for 1 year and then has joined us just about 3 weeks ago. Kyle clearly has great credentials, but I'm going to read to you what he wrote in his application when the question was, why do you want to work for Carson City? He wrote, although I'm relatively new to Carson City, I've grown to love everything the community has to offer. It feels like home, and I'm deeply committed to seeing it thrive while preserving its small town charm. Working for the city gives me the opportunity to contribute to the community I care about and to help ensure it continues to grow in ways that maintain its character, livability, and sense of place. So I can teach a lot of things, but I can't teach somebody to care about the community. And the more we talked with Kyle, the more it was obvious that he was the right fit. And so ultimately, I will retire and Kyle will become the director. So I'm pleased, and I hope you'll welcome Kyle along with me.
Thank you. Thank you, Hope. It's just like Las Vegas, only without the traffic, the big buildings, the xeriscapes, the lack of water. I mean, it's really similar. It's Nevada. Welcome, Kyle. We look forward to working with you. Denny, did you have Mr. French? It's nice to have public again.
Denny French, thank you very much, Chair and Commission. That's why I'm here, is to thank you. I'm just gone over some of the minutes from the meeting I had to miss. I've been having to miss meetings lately. And the involvement that you go into with each item, it just is amazing to me. Now, while I have a couple minutes, I want to ask you some terminologies. In one place, it does say the man door. Did you mean the main door, or is there something called the man door? That means a public entrance, not a car entrance. Is that?
I can. Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, and the next one is, I didn't know what a goose lamp was. I had a good imagination and I came close, so I did one up. But they're expensive and they're new. Gooseneck, thank you. And then that is great. On the main page, though, the roofing has to be original. Now, how, in some cases, because of the age of the house, do you get original roofing or siding? I mean, you've talked about resources, and it always thrills me that there are still people that can find it and then or recreate it. But I just want to say again, if anybody reads over the involvement compared to what goes on at other meetings, this is amazing, and I appreciate it. Thank you for your efforts.
Thank you, Denny. Does anybody want to answer the man door question for Denny?
Commissioner Spalda, for the record, Danny, the man door is also called a pedestrian door. So it just means like in a garage where you might have garage doors and then you have a pedestrian sized, that's a man door. Yeah.
Thank you, Danny. Next item is for possible action, approval of minutes from May 6, 2026. Has had a chance to review those? If so, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the minutes from the May 6th, 2026 meeting.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next item is number 5A, HRC 2026-0096 for possible action, discussion, and possible action regarding a request from Darren Berger, the applicant, to relocate a carriage house and utilize setbacks from the original location consistent with Carson City Municipal Code CCMC 18.06.064 on a parcel zoned residential office, RO, located at 312 West 3rd Street, Assessor's parcel number APN 003-123-04. Heather.
Thank you, Heather Ferris, for the record. So if you recall, the applicant was successful in receiving approval of a zoning text amendment that would allow for the use of the original setbacks when a contributing building is relocated from one parcel to another within the historic district. This new code section allows for an applicant to apply to the HRC for approval of the use of the original setbacks as long as certain minimum conditions of approval are met. Those include continuation of existing setbacks from the previous location are not to be applied to any other structure except the relocated one. The relocated structure must not encroach on any public utility easement, and the structure must comply with all other applicable requirements of NRS and the municipal code. So the applicant is here before you to relocate a historic carriage house, which is a contributing building from its original location at 202 South Nevada to the subject property. Additionally, the applicant is seeking approval to utilize the setbacks from the structure's original location consistent with CCMC 1806-064. Based on aerial photos of the property, as well as the information provided by the applicant, the structure appears to have been located within 1 foot of located on the property line. Now he's requesting that the structure with its relocation be relocated within 1 foot of the northernmost property line of 312 West 3rd Street. Additionally, there would be 8 inches of eaves overhanging and then an additional 4-inch gutter. Setbacks to all other residential office standards will be applied. So minimum setbacks for all other in all other directions will be met with this application. It's important to note that the building official as well as development engineering have reviewed the application. Development engineering has determined that there is no public utility easements in this area, and the building official has been in discussions with the applicant as well, and doesn't have any concerns with the project moving forward as proposed, as long as the building permit demonstrates compliance with the building code, which ultimately may mean that it has to be a minimum of 2 feet away from that northernmost property line, or additional fire-rated treatments may be needed. That should not affect the appearance of the structure. If anything is potentially going to affect how the structure looks from the exterior, then we will likely be back in front of you. In addition to evaluating the setbacks, staff has also evaluated the construction or reconstruction of the carriage house on the subject property. The carriage house will be oriented with the historic carriage doors fronting Division Street and the man door and a window facing south towards the primary structure. The man door is proposed to be a new wood door with 9 lights on the top half. And the window is proposed to be a single hung wood window. The original door and window are missing from the structure. They were not there when you all approved the removal of the structure about a year ago. And then at the eastern end of the building, the applicant proposes the installation of a new overhead sectional carriage door. The applicant is proposing the use of existing siding and roofing wherever possible, and when replacement is needed, matching material is proposed. With regard to, we already addressed the windows and the window and the door. The new garage door on the east end of the building, as I said, would be an overhead sectional carriage style door composed of steel and composite materials. The guidelines allow for new doors that are, quote, sympathetic and harmonious with the original doors, and allows for new openings that do not disrupt the original design of the building. The proposed door emulates the style of the carriage house door, but provides modern functionality. It's also oriented away from the street frontage, leaving the original carriage door prominent along Division Street. New exterior lighting is also proposed. You can see it somewhat on the elevations here. It doesn't appear that exterior lights were ever on the original, at the original location. So the applicant is proposing a gooseneck style light at the east and west ends of the building, and then a single wall-mounted light next to the man door. The guidelines call for new fixtures to consider the property and its neighbors. The proposed fixtures are consistent with the 1920s era building. Additionally, the lights will be directed downward so as not to spill over into the night sky or adjacent properties. Staff has found the proposal to be consistent with CCMC and the guidelines and is recommending approval subject to 8 conditions of approval, which are included in your staff report. I'm available for questions, and Darren Berger is also here.
Thank you, Heather. Any commission member questions of Darren or Heather?
Michelle Schmitter for the record. Darren, I think a 5-panel door, man door, would be more appropriate. Did you want glass in there when you have that window?
I swear there were remnants of a door that had lights on it, but I'm not married to that. If you would prefer a panelized solid door, that's fine by me, yes.
Luann?
Since there wasn't that much evidence, I don't have an opinion for what he puts on, so.
I just feel that the cross brace, I mean, I understand what you're doing. You're trying to pick up the design of the actual garage doors that you're using, but I think a simpler door at this would be less, your eye wouldn't be drawn to it as much.
We're talking about the man door.
Yeah, the man door.
Sure, I could see that, yeah. Yeah, I think the thought I put into it was that, I thought I found a chunk of door that had an X brace on it and some mullions, and so I replicated that. But a panel door would suit me just fine and probably be a better fit. Yeah.
You have one, Jed? I have the doors out the old Capitol Jewelry building. Cool.
You got a window?
We got
Oh.
windows.
All right, well, there you go. That'd be great. Yeah, those things were boarded up and disintegrated on the inside, and it was pretty interesting what we found on the inside of that structure.
Are there other questions or comments?
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
After 8 years of this shed, I'm just happy to see that we're coming to some sort of completion. And again, you picked you picked this up and, you came in here and you wanted to move it and you volunteered where it would still be sitting there and we'd still be talking about it next year and the year after. So I like what you've done, Darren. I think that the preservation of that, you should be, we're very happy. I'm very happy that you've taken that up. And I really don't have too many issues. I've seen even, I know that Michelle on the door, but I've seen other doors like that in the historic area that, it can work. But if you agree with Michelle, I just want to make a motion and approve this thing.
For the record, you did say this shed, right?
Whatever.
Lou, did you have a comment?
No, I just agree with Don, and I'm really happy to see it have a new life. We suffered through many years of trying to get the original owner to do something with it or preserve it, and so it's really great to have this come into a new life. Thank you.
I appreciate that. And yeah, for many years, I stood there at my kitchen sink looking out at that thing going, well, I'd like to have that, and trying to figure out how to move forward. And really, my hat's off to the city and Hope who helped me find that pathway to the amendment, and Mr. Drews, who supported me, and this group as well. It's been, oh my gosh, it's been a journey. And the building official and the fire separation thing is like, oh my gosh, I thought I was there, and I'm still not quite there, but I'm confident I can overcome that hurdle and get on it and get it built. And it's going to be awesome. I'm going to put my Miata in there, and yeah, it's going to be cool. So
I have one last comment, and it's this could never have happened if, Darren is a really good architect. We don't know about his carpenter skills, but his son is now old enough and has been working construction for about 3 years. So Robert will probably is the key component to make all this really happen.
Any other comments? Michelle, did you have one?
Yes, I have to say thank you for taking this on. I'm a big salvage person myself, so if you weren't going to take it, I was going to take it. But because I did say something about your doors, I do want to just say I do like the gooseneck light fixtures that you picked out, but you just have to be aware of getting the ones where where the bulb doesn't stick out at the bottom. I see that a lot.
oh.
Yep.
I thought that was characteristic of that era with the bulb sticking out the bottom, the incandescent bulb.
Well, are we dark sky? Yeah.
Oh, well, so I do a lot of antique shopping, and that's what got me going on this. And I thought I'd be golden if it's an incandescent bulb. I mean, it's not like it's putting out a bunch of foot candles, but I will do whatever the city will allow me to do. And that's
25 watts or less.
Yeah, that's fine by me. I was looking forward to the old, as I get older, I talk a lot, back in my day, that bulb used to hang out the bottom of the thing, and that's what I was looking for. But whatever, keeps me out of jail, that's what I'll put in.
Yeah, I think the wattage is the consideration on that. Keep it low watts. Should be dark sky compliant. Jed, do you have a?
So I'm sorry, but all the street lights have a number and a street address, and I think the power company's replaced 38 of them on my bequest in the last 2 years. And I think with the minimal amount of lighting that they put on the new $580 million legislative building, I don't think you're going to be able to compete with that. And I think as far as putting low wattage in when life, health, and safety and homeless and all that stuff, the brighter the better. But, you know, usually those old kind of cool looking Edison bulbs stick out a little bit below those things, but I don't think that'll be an issue. And I too is, you know, I want to brag about the Jed shed as well. So we should start the shed saving crew. But, you know, just all the efforts that you put into everything and getting the zoning changed and all that stuff. And, you know, didn't think you'd be in your 60s when you achieved that, but welcome.
Any other questions or comments? Take public comment.
Thank you, Chair. Denny French, Carson City. And thank you. I can't do that, but the main thing I was just going to mention is the man door, because I didn't want it to match the facing door for division as it was designed. But I hadn't been able to see, and I was going to ask Heather if she could go back to the picture of the shed, because there was something about that, and I can't remember. But the main thing is, if there's not a plaque in front of this that gives a whole lot of credit and says the history, because so many people are tearing things down without any understanding of their age, their value in that historical aspect. And I just want this to be shown. You know, all this effort was not for just the joy of it, or I don't know, he's a millionaire and he could throw his money around, but I looked at those lights and I couldn't even afford one. So I appreciate the effort and the time and just getting that idea that we've got to look for the historical aspects of land and property and such. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. Is there any other public comment? This is what you're stepping into, Kyle. You got great community involvement, and I think the sense of historic preservation here in this community is just incredible. And Darren pretty much blazed a new path and set a whole new bar for things like this. So there's,
I'd like to make a motion.
Yeah, I'll call for a motion.
I move to approve HRC-2026-0096 based on the findings and conditions of approval included in the staff report, the standards and guidelines for rehabilitation, Carson City Historic District guidelines, and consistent with Historic Resource Commission policies, and ask that you please take in consideration Commissioner Michelle's points on the door.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you again.
Wouldn't it have been something if we said no
No.
after
Yeah.
all the stuff that we've got to
Yeah.
go through?
On second thought,
I would almost like to have done that, just for the fun of it.
next item is number 6, staff reports. Heather?
So I don't have a lot to report on, but the scavenger hunt was pretty successful this year. I heard a lot of positive feedback about how much people enjoyed participating. We received 13 completed hunts, but I do believe that more people participated just based on what I was hearing. There were 3 people that answered all 28 questions correctly. They were Catherine Smith, Ed Smith, and John Chamberlain. And you guys might recall at our last meeting, I had reported that we had received a request that the commission consider adding additional prizes next year to try to encourage additional participation. As a result of that, Jed actually purchased 2 additional gift cards and donated them to the scavenger hunt. So all 3 of the folks that had the correct answers each got a gift card to the Fox. So thank you, Jed. And then our next meeting, should we need one, is scheduled for September 2nd at 4 p.m.
Thank you, Heather.
Can I
Is
just,
that Labor Day weekend?
Probably.
Because this is 4th of July weekend? Okay.
I just have a quick comment. One of the planning meetings, I think, or commissioners' meetings, they mentioned that they would like to see the answers to the questions of the scavenger hunt. Like maybe after it's over, you could post the,
Right.
the,
We're working on that.
Oh, okay.
I did provide the answers to folks that have requested them. But right now, we've had a little bit of, we're a little short on staff due to illness and stuff. So people are getting back in the office and we'll get that taken care of as quickly as we can.
yeah. I was wondering if also, is it difficult to go through each of the forms and match them? I mean, to
How
make
much
sure-
staff time does it take?
Yeah.
So we do have a couple of gals that work part-time, and they're the ones that typically do that. And I haven't heard any issues with the amount of time that it takes.
Okay. If you find out it's a problem, let us know and maybe we can help
Okay,
do that.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Any commission member reports?
On the scavenger hunt, I think Ed and Kathy drove around the house 3 times, and they also walked by on the sidewalk. But it was a pretty difficult scavenger hunt. It was nice that all the effort that you put into that. I gave a presentation on Carson City history for the Historical Society at the Senior Center. And Lucia, at the Nevada State Museum Preservation Society, she wants me to do a presentation on the prison. I said, I don't know much, but we're going to focus on the effect of the prison quarry of the town. So we can show all the sandstone of all the old buildings and stuff. On Friday, the Carson City Historical Society is doing a West Side tour, and they promoted 40 tickets, and they sold them out in like a day. They ended up on Channel 2 News the other day. They want to do another one this first one's 32 buildings. They want to do another one with the churches and the south side of the west side of Carson. And they're also going to take over the east side tour that Bernie Allen's been doing for, I don't know, since 1999. And we're going to revamp the brochure. So the Historical Society wants to get involved in another tour. And Liz Kane, that's the current president of the Historical Society, is pushing a lot of great events and everything. They're doing a really good job. I think they're really excited about being so involved in the community. So just a few things that are happening.
If they'd like to integrate wagon rides with that, I know a guy.
And that's another thing with the Friends of the Silver Saddle Ranch. They've been doing the horse rides for the wine walks. And so that's kind of cool for people to cruise around with all the stops, and it's well received.
Any other commission member reports? Future agenda items? Anyone? Okay. Is there any public comment? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. I'll move to adjourn. Second? All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.